Hello, and welcome to Homeschool Informational Services, where we individualize lifelong learning.
Okay.
We,
Hi. Oh, go ahead, Annalisa.
we started Homeschool Informational Services in 2012 to help homeschool families along their journey.
Hi, I'm Karen, a homeschool mom of 21 years and four children.
I'm Annalisa. I homeschooled my oldest through high school, and I have 3 boys.
Do you know that many of the people you encounter throughout the day were homeschooled? Well, today we're interviewing Naeem Nickerson, a 2011 homeschool graduate, and let's learn more about his time as a homeschooler. Welcome,
Welcome,
Naeem, and
Naeem.
thank you for
Hello.
being here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Okay, and he's busy doing things. Okay, so all right, we want to know why did your family even start homeschooling?
I've asked my parents this exact question, and they said it was because of we moved a lot growing up. So we would be in one side of New York, and then like a year later we'd be on another side. So I guess it was crazy going back and forth between districts. But I feel like the most important reason was because they had um like just the value that they were getting from homeschooling, as far as like they can they know exactly what they're teaching, the moral value of it, um
Mhm.
this protecting what we were exposed to growing up. So I
Okay.
feel like that was the most important reason of
Did you go to school at all in Long
Mm-mm.
Island? No?
Nope,
Okay.
homeschool all my life.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because
Hmm.
that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna ask you. What age and grade were you homeschooled? But
Okay.
all your life.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So,
Did you
did
enjoy?
you
Go ahead.
enjoy it or did you loathe it?
Oh Lord, pros and cons.
There
So
you go.
growing up, I feel like um I don't really think I enjoyed it growing up. I enjoyed the perks. I enjoyed um waking up and doing schoolwork in your pajamas, or like getting started whenever, my mom wanted us to, or something like that. Or just I guess the benefits of it, like, you can kind of in the comfort of your home kind of thing. But growing up, I feel like I wanted to be in sports. I wanted to be around like a lot of people, like friends. Didn't have
Mhm.
that. So I didn't really have the the street lingo kind of that the other kids had. So I was kind of slow on a lot of I guess worldly topics and stuff like that. But yeah.
But your parents wanted it that way.
Yeah, it was somewhat sheltering.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
But I was gonna say,
what type of community did you have? You
uh
said
s-
you didn't have the school kids community kind of thing, but what other
oh yeah. So
community
we
did you
grew up we grew up in a church, and I feel like that helped out a lot because that was where we got our social backing from. So
have?
a lot of there were school kids in the church, but that was our environment that we were in. So we learned a lot from them, and um, I think that's kind of what saved us, because I remember going to a lot of these homeschool meetings and having conversations with these kids, and it was like I don't know. They they just seemed a lot of standoffish. They didn't really have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
social skills.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were
And they were
socialized.
very quiet.
Okay, so you were socialized mainly because you had a church
Church,
community.
church
And
community.
didn't you go to co-ops? I kind of remember that part. Didn't you go to some
I believe
co-ops?
so. I went to some
Yeah.
co-ops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, because I think one year we were in co-ops together. At least
Hmm.
one year in Long Island there. Okay. Um
Hmm.
uh what
So,
community would you go ahead?
what community would you have appreciated? Because you talked a little bit about you wished you were a little bit more
That
involved in other communities.
that mindset was from I guess I would say a child's mind when I was in school. But as I got older, I started to realize, like, I'm actually glad that it was that way, because I see a lot of um a lot of benefits that I'm now benefiting from because of going through that. So
Mhm.
so that's the only reason why I feel like I would do it to my kids if I ever had kids, if I would homeschool my kids, because today's
Mhm.
world is crazy. I just the kids now in school, I could
Wait.
never.
So can I translate that and say now you understand your parents a little better?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Well, I know you mentioned like sports. So do you think you missed out on sports, playing sports?
Hmm. I would have been in the NBA or something.
Okay.
Or like, yeah. I mean, so I play sports with my friends, or like I would go to the basketball gym or go to the field or play with friends. But being on a team, I feel like me and my brothers, we could have been something nice on TV or something if we would have had the right,
Like Giannis Antetokounmpo, is that his name? Him and all what is his two brothers? All of them in the
something
NBA or
like that.
something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we missed that. We missed out on that. The world missed out on us.
Do you remember what curriculum you used?
We used Saxon. We used it was another one. I know Saxon for sure was for the math. And then the books, I remember Magic Treehouse. I feel like I'm trying to think about all the greats that I loved, but that's another one. Can't think of it off the top of my head. It's been so long. Uh,
Did your parents pull curriculum together, or were they using a boxed curriculum or workbooks or something like that?
what do you mean pull
Besides
curriculum together?
Saxon. Yeah, did
Um,
they kind of do it on their own for different subjects, or was it something that they purchased, a workbook, or they purchased,
um,
do you
yeah, they
remember?
purchased different workbooks.
Okay.
And they looked up different things and saw what worked, saw what didn't. So it kind of um they went like that.
Okay.
It wasn't like questions that I kind of made themselves. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I was just wondering because there's so many different styles, and so
Oh,
some
okay, yeah.
people like to use a certain curriculum, and it may change, but they're like, we're really set on this. And some people will gather different things together, like you said, really based on what is it that your kid is
Hmm.
interested in. So I didn't know if you felt like your parents did a combination of that or not.
Mhm. Well,
Um, yeah, I would think it was a
I was gonna
combination.
say that I remember your mom utilized the library a lot,
Oh yeah.
a
Yeah.
whole lot. So
Hmm.
I learned that from her.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So it was a lot of handbooks, a lot of different curriculums. It wasn't just one brand or whatever. It was
Yeah.
information from a lot of places that she used to teach us.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. What was the most unique experience in your homeschool journey?
Unique experience.
Mhm.
Um, doing work in your pajamas. That was unique.
Okay.
I feel like there's more though. There was a lot of unique stuff. I'm trying to think of what it could be. Unique experience. Uh, yeah, that's all I can think about right now. Besides, yeah, just doing your work wherever you were. We went on a lot of field trips um in the
That's
beginning.
unique.
That is unique. That was a different, it was more hands-on experience. I feel like that's how I learned the most.
Okay.
I'm very hands-on, so we went to museums, we went to different places like that, and I loved that the most. I didn't
Mhm.
like being at home for real. So,
Good. That
mhm,
was what we were gonna go, that's the direction we were going in because we wanted to ask, what were the other enhancements? So we talked a little bit about the library. Now you talked about field trips and doing other
mhm,
things. So good. Yes.
mhm. Yeah, I forgot about that too. That's we went out a lot as far as um like teaching. It wasn't just books. It was like hands-on, very, very intimate experience with homeschooling. So
Wonderful.
Okay.
The last
mhm.
person I interviewed, I decided I was going to use in this next interview. She said it was road schooling because
Oh wow.
there were so many opportunities to go out of the house.
Yeah.
All right,
I've
good.
I've had conversations with people, the same experiences. They say their parents were truck drivers or like just
Mm,
always on the go, and then that's why they were homeschooled, and so they were road schooling.
mhm.
Yeah,
That's right.
I've talked to a lot of people like that.
Did you participate in any volunteer opportunities?
Volunteer opportunities. Door knocking at the church. Does that count?
Yes,
Yes.
that does count.
Yes.
Yeah. Then
Absolutely.
yeah. There was a lot of activities at the church where was Thanksgiving, passing out baskets or book bags or something like that, or um,
Mhm.
there's a lot of church activities like that. And outside of that, we did some. I don't know. I mean, it really wasn't. It wasn't. It was like a. It wasn't like a class, but it wasn't volunteering either. We weren't getting paid for it, but it was like a robotics program that I was in,
Okay.
and that we actually went to a different states and did like competing and stuff like that.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
So that
good.
was cool.
Okay.
Hmm.
that's
So
a
different
unique
clubs
opportunity.
or
Oh,
yeah,
that's a
okay.
unique opportunity. Yep. Yep.
Yes. Oh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
lot of those, a lot of unique opportunities.
Okay.
Good. I'm
Well,
glad you brought that
okay,
up
so
because that was one of the
mhm,
questions that we didn't get to. So I'm glad we
Hmm.
got to it.
Okay. Okay, good.
so
Yeah.
with what you just said about like you passed out book bags, you gave things it sounds like to the needy. Do you feel you're more empathetic?
Hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. But that's just my personality. I've
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've always been like that. But
Okay.
I feel like it nurtured that as well.
Amen.
It
Okay.
did. Definitely did.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Loved
Wait,
it.
that's good. That's good.
Hmm.
Were you
Now,
employed
yeah,
while
did you work? Did you work in high school at all?
Um, my first job was I was a landscaper for the church. I
Oh,
think I was
wow.
16, and
okay.
um, yeah, I don't know where I came up with my price margin or whatever, but I just said, let me cut your grass and just give me something because um, we didn't really get allowance like them other
Mhm.
kids did, so so that was my way of making some extra money so I can buy some McDonald's next door to the church or something like that.
Perfect.
Right.
And
Hmm.
you had the flexibility to do
I sure
it.
did. I sure had the flexibility. So, um, but yeah,
Did you participate in a homeschool graduation?
um, I don't think I did. I mean, it was like so from the churches we were involved with. Um, we had we had there was like a graduation for the Eastoneers. It was like a choir that that I was in. And so every year the people that were graduating, there was kind of like a ceremony that they would have in December about the I guess if you
Mhm.
walk down the aisle as if you're
Right.
so somewhat.
So
So
you didn't even tell us you were in a choir. How do we miss that one?
oh, there's a lot about me that you didn't that I feel like wasn't in the questions.
Okay. Did you
I
have a yearbook?
don't think so. I don't think I had a yearbook. I didn't go to prom, and that's another
Okay,
thing too.
yeah.
A lot of kids went to prom. Even I've heard of homeschooling kids that went to prom, but my parents didn't believe in prom, so
Okay.
sheltered. That was part of that.
Okay.
What myths would you like to dispel about homeschooling?
Hmm. Um, well, I feel like it's there, like it was beginning of what I was when we first got on of what I was talking about. There's about some homeschoolers are not as socialized as others. So a lot of people look at homeschooling like, oh, well, you don't really have a lot of socialization, and that's a big part of it. But some of them do. A lot of my siblings did. So, but then when I look at other homeschoolers, they don't. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say on that. Another myth. Uh, I guess it just depends on the homeschooler because there's some homeschoolers that, well, some people assume that the school, I guess, curriculum is different, and but in a lot of cases it's not. It's usually the same curriculum. It's just the differences you're doing it at home. So there's that too. What else is there? A myth about homeschooling.
Our homeschoolers in general. I mean, you talked a little bit about socialization, which for us, that's the very first question we always get from parents is,
Hmm.
how are the children socialized? And, as we were talking to you, even though you started and you said there wasn't much community that you had, as you
Hmm.
told us more about your experience, we heard about all of the interaction you did with other people.
Yeah, yeah. I even forgot about those. Yeah, there was a lot.
Okay, you showing your age. That's what's happening.
Hmm. Yeah, but I feel like that was very unique to like the homeschoolers I've been around. But there was a lot of homeschoolers that had spoken to that didn't get the anywhere near the socialization that my family did or people that I know of that got. So
Mhm.
I guess it just
Okay.
depends on the person.
Yeah. Well, after
Mhm.
graduation, did you continue your education or did you go right into the workforce?
I continued education, so I went to Cleveland Institute of Art in Ohio for 2 semesters, and I majored in transportation and industrial design because I wanted to design cars. But then the uh, tuition was very, very high. I didn't really had a scholarship, but the scholarship didn't cover it. Was I mean it was expensive school. My scholarship I think was 35,000 a year, but the tuition was 50,000 or something like that. So that was back when I knew about grants and knew about, you know, scholarships, but didn't really care. I was like, I don't need that stuff. And then unfortunately, I did need it and didn't have it. So yeah,
Okay, so what did you do after that? Like, okay, so you went there how long? A whole
two
year, a
two
semester?
semesters, two
Okay, two
semesters.
semesters.
Hmm.
And then
Then ran
you
out of
came
money.
home.
Yep.
Okay.
Came home and then started working. And then
Mhm.
when my family moved to Alabama back in 2020, the end of 2012 or 2013, something like that,
Mhm.
then I eventually went to Calhoun Community College for business.
Okay.
And
Nice.
so I had 2 semesters left until I graduated, and then COVID hit. So now I was like, that's maybe a sign from God that I'll need to be in school. I don't know. Yeah. But
So you went there for one semester then before
Semester
COVID
or
hit.
two?
which one?
Or two, you went to Calhoun.
No, I was there for a year and some change, but I had
Okay.
2 semesters left before I
Oh, you had
graduated
two
from
semesters.
Oh,
Calhoun.
okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
All right. Well, don't discount it. You can
Oh yeah,
finish
I might go back and finish,
if you
but
would. Right.
yeah, yeah.
So if you had if and when you have a family, will you consider homeschooling your children?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
Okay,
the way the
why?
world is set up right now, I'm currently looking for another planet to move to. But until then, until then, I'm just gonna work with what I got.
So, you know, when you have a family,
Hmm.
um, will you have a different perspective? Because you talked a little bit about in the beginning how you weren't really sure about this whole thing. Like you liked going out, but it wasn't like your thing at first, right? So then,
Wait,
you know, when you were homeschooling, because you were talking about in the beginning
oh,
that you were like, well, you were sort of, you know, not too sure
hmm,
about it. Mainly
hmm,
because I think you said you've missed out on some communities.
hmm.
So, with that perspective in mind, and if you think you're going to homeschool your future children, like what will you do to add to that, to add to their experiences?
Of what I lacked in
Mm-hmm.
mine. Okay. Um, I would make sure they were socialized like me, but more, if that makes sense. So, and then make have them involved in sports or things like that that I wasn't able to take advantage of. But yeah, it's like the same somewhat. It's just,
Okay.
the one thing I do like about homeschooling is you can kind of monitor what's being taught in a lot of the private schools and the public schools. I don't haven't seen, just based on people who I've been in have conversation with, it's like it's not the same as far as what you're getting. Now some people, they beat the odds and they're go off to get doctors and really special people, but on some cases it's like the some of this new generation coming out, that it's sad about what they're learning, what they're exposed to at such an early age, and different things like that. So that's why.
Classrooms are larger. So, you know, if you do, I mean, one of the advantages that you can probably say is that your experience was a little bit more individualized, whereas in a classroom setting, there's so many students. Sometimes it's hard for students to have that feeling of,
Mhm,
you know, an individualized educational experience.
mhm. I
Right.
agree. I
Yeah, because
agree.
your classroom size was 5. You and your 4 siblings.
It sure was.
That's it.
It sure was.
That was good. That was good. Well, what are you
There was
doing now as an occupation?
So right now I have a shop indicator. It's called Tech Lounge, and I repair any and everything. It's a,
Cool.
a one-stop shop for repairs. So um
Yeah.
do
Working with your
everything.
hands, like you said.
Yep, yep.
So you
Though I
found that
wish,
out when you were young, and now you're doing it.
but I wish I would have chosen something with more residual or passive income, because right now I mean, it's a good business, yes, very, very busy, but it's very manual, very labor
Mhm,
intensive. So
mhm,
it's like if you're not working, you're not making money. So I hate that.
mhm. Yeah.
There's still plenty of opportunities.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, maybe you can find the homeschool community there where you live now, and you can have a class for
Yep.
them
Oh,
and
really?
have them and charge them for, and teach them so that then they can come either intern with you,
Hmm.
volunteer with you, and
That's a good idea. Never thought about that.
yeah, and
That's
help
a
help
really
you're
good idea.
helping them out, but you're also creating more people who could do this. So then, you could hire your apprentice
Hmm.
and get them
That's a good, yeah. That's
right,
a
because then
really
it
good
would be
idea.
passive if you had a few people working in the shop, and then
Hmm.
you're doing something else, and it
Hmm.
frees you up a little bit. So
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I need to
okay.
I need
Oh,
to
tell my
do that.
kids that I have good ideas.
All right. Oh, they know. They know.
Well,
there
thank
was
you
something
so
else.
much, Naeem.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really appreciate you spending your time with us and sharing with us about your homeschool journey.
Hmm.
We wish you well because I know now that you have a great idea and you're going
No,
to add
right.
to that.
There was something else I would add though
Oh,
about
yes.
homeschooling. Yes. So I mean, I feel like it can help other people as far as homeschooling. When I was homeschooled, it was, I didn't really, it was kind of like bad for me because we were given kind of like an ultimatum, not an ultimatum, but like if you don't finish your work you can't go outside. That was just like a motto: if you didn't finish your work you can't go outside. But at that age we wanted to be outside, but I guess the workload, sometimes it was a lot, sometimes it wasn't, sometimes it was hard, sometimes it wasn't. But me, as an individual, I feel like I struggled more than most to finish tasks, finish projects, focus, and things like
Mm,
that. So I've realized that I kind of found a hack for having playtime and free time. And sometimes it was like dishonest in a way, because it was just like, did you finish your work? Yes, I did. All right, you can go outside and play. So I was like, okay, I can just say I did, or I'll just skim across this and make a little, I guess, a summary of what I
right.
think it said or whatever. So, and then so once I feel like that, it's like once you do it for a little bit, it's like a month, a year, 2 years, then it starts kind of like you're not really grabbing everything that you need. You're just kind of doing the bare minimum to get by. So I did that. I really, that was my way of getting out and having fun. So
That's
that,
honest. That's
yeah,
good. Okay.
but I feel like that's what made me. And also in the 11th grade, that's why I had to redo the 11th grade, because there was times when I just didn't feel like doing the work, or um there was times when I wanted to go somewhere and couldn't do it until I got done. So I was like, okay, well, I did that, and got to go places. But so I feel like
Okay. Well, there's
people,
That's right.
consequences to your
Keep that
actions,
yeah,
up
right?
with you.
people listening in on this channel, like when you post it, just know that everything comes around for a circle. So
There you go.
do your work.
But it also sounds like what you would do with your children is maybe start outside. Start outside. We're gonna get some
Hmm.
outside time in. Then we come in. Then we do
Hmm.
some homeschooling. Then you could get rewarded with more outside time when you finish your
Hmm.
work.
But
So
today's kids, they don't even like being outside. They like being on their phones and tablets and stuff. They're a different breed than what we was.
That's why when
well,
you have your children, they will be a different breed.
right,
Yeah,
If you're gonna homeschool them.
yeah,
right.
they gotta be a different breed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what wanted to leave
I
That
with.
love
was
that. Thank you for adding that because it's
yeah.
Hmm.
important. It's important. And
Hmm.
I'm glad you talked about that because I think everyone, and we want people to have a full perspective of what it's like and what it's like for each individual, and whether
Absolutely.
there was a challenge or not, whether it was good or it wasn't. And
Hmm.
it's great that you can look back on it and say, yeah, I saw myself doing that. I thought, hey, that was great. I could get
Hmm.
away with it. But then
Yep.
here's the consequences of that.
Hmm.
Thank
Got to
you.
have fun. I got to have a lot of free time and playtime. But
So could you shout out your business? Because then hopefully people will see this and maybe they'll come and,
oh yeah.
come to your
Uh,
business to get something fixed.
There you
not
go.
not too much. It's busy as it is, so just
No, because
but
you're gonna have apprentice and volunteers, and
oh
There
you're
yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
gonna
yeah.
That's right.
right,
That's right.
That's
You
true.
got a plan. You have a
right,
plan.
Oh yeah.
you're gonna
But
get that help you need.
absolutely, it's Tech Lounge in Decatur. So my address is 1419 Glen Street Southwest, and here's the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but here's the shop. I'm right in front of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
cool.
And what
And
city
so
and state? You gotta say the city and
okay,
state.
Decatur, Alabama.
Okay.
Hmm.
All
And I
right.
repair any and everything. It's not a lot of shops like that anymore. So
Right.
that's why I've kind of found the niche and was just like, okay, this is something needed in
Right.
this town, so in the city. So
There you
Wonderful.
go.
There you
Mhm.
I think
go.
that that's a homeschooler's mind.
There,
Mhm.
yep.